Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. You may be wondering why I have all of a sudden changed shirts. Long story, but I thought my friend was at the door the other day. I stopped the show, went to go check to see who it was. Mormons. A couple of Mormons trying to recruit. No problem. Fine. We got into a long conversation, though, basically about why they wear what they wear. I thought it was kind of strange. It's very uniform, and they said basically this kind of cool story. It's like a cool Snapple fact that Joseph Smith found out there was a sale at JCPenney one day, and the rest is history. So yeah, I didn't end up signing any of the paperwork, or I took the pamphlets just to get let them leave. I let them come in, offered them coffee. They said no, they don't drink caffeine, but they'd take a Coke. I didn't really understand what that was. It's very kind of contradictory. But yeah, so a new day, finishing the show. My apologies. Is this on? Yeah, I like to hit your mom where she duty at and make her booty fat. It's The Rock. Does that sound good? Okay. So, yeah. And we talked about other things. Like whenever you have religious people around, sex seems to come in. It's like, how do you feel about being DP'd? Is that good? You should always do that when you're you're kind of what do you call it? Filtering or doing some cross questions for a potential wife or significant partner. You should really get out of the way in the relationship earlier on, all the messed up sexual innuendo. You don't want to save that for when you put the rock on her finger, his or her finger. Or they, them, or whatever. All inclusive here at the BenBen Show. But you want to make sure that this person is willing to indulge some of your freak. Get a little bit freaky. You want to make sure that happens earlier on, because you don't want to tie your sail to a boat that just likes to fuck in the missionary position. You want a boat that will go through some white squalls with you, that will maybe invert, turn into a submarine with a gag on its mouth, and you get into some freaky shit. Because if you don't do it, the problem is if you don't do it soon, you may have this problem where the relationship's all about making up for the fact that, I'm not good enough for you, blah, blah, blah. No. Nothing to do with that. It's just fun that I always liked, but I respected you enough. But now that things are further along, I feel more comfortable to tell you hey, this is who I am. I really like being pegged. And yeah. So let her know sooner. I'd say within the first 6 months, if you're into everything that you're into, whatever it is, no judgment here, go for it. And so I was talking to the guys about that. I was like, hey, what's the deal with what was it, 1979? Joseph Smith was talking about they're about to lose their designation with the IRS as a church, and so they somehow decided to ban black people or something, or some weird thing, some association with that and tax reform. I don't understand. It was weird. I asked them a few things, what's the deal with all the multi-level marketing schemes? Why are you guys so good? They didn't really have an answer for that. The racism didn't have an answer for that. The anti-LGBTQ stuff, I don't know. That's just this is the way the cookie crumbles over there. But what's with all the kids, man? That's also the weird. Why do you have to save it? Why do you think there's only 2 parents? You can't have 10 kids. Eventually, a few of them are going to be neglected. Just a thought. I don't know. I don't think it's healthy. It's weird. How do you afford 10 kids? Jesus. Put them in the public school system, I guess. How do you go on vacation with 10 kids? How do you have a life as a mom when your husband's at work and it's 3 o'clock coming around. You have to pick up the kids at school. And like they all go to like 3 or 4 different schools because they're at different ages. That's a nightmare. What about like now with like the vaccine policies and stuff like that? Are you gonna just like, oh, 2 of the schools don't have like prophylactic measures for COVID, they're not gonna enforce a mask policy? When is it time to drown your kids? When the school says, oh, we don't care about the masks anymore, it's over, we're just gonna social distance, wear a mask if you want, but we're not gonna enforce it, I think that's when you start to drown them. And if you're Mormon, you start to drown some of them, put them out of their misery, and that'll help the family dynamic overall, because one of them's cutting themselves because one of the parents simply isn't giving them any fucking attention or have forgotten their names. You have 10 fucking kids. It's going to happen. Susie, Sarah, Sandra. I have 3 S. Who's who? Especially when they're young. When they're older, I don't know. I know a Mormon family. I mentioned that to the guy. I said, like, I know a Mormon family. They're like, they don't say I love you to each other. They're very accusatory. There seems to be like this like subtle like surreptitious nature of abuse going on that's very I don't know, like incestual in the sense, not sexually, but like it's ingrained in the religious family dynamic, the sociological affectation of being Mormon, of just how the family works and church, and like no one in the family takes responsibility for anything. And it's very strange. I don't know why the only thing I can think of is the reason they have these guys come out wearing JCPenney clothes is because what they do at the church is they have these things called tithings, where you pay like 10% of your salary to the church. If you can't afford it, it's okay, but they tend to like encourage people to, and it's like kind of a blackface if you don't give something. So it's almost like this. They're like, the Mormon church is like Netflix. It's like this subscription that you pay, and it's kind of like, on the back burner until tax season. You just kind of call it, hey, it's time to pay up, because I'm getting all these benefits, these mad benefits from the church. I don't want to be kicked out of heaven. That's the thing. Evidently, if you're kicked out of the church, you don't get to go to heaven or to your celestial family or whatever the fuck they believe in. I don't know. It's not as bad as Scientology, but it's not far off, particularly with the origins of the religion. I think Joseph Smith was a committed fraud, or was accused felon, convicted felon about a year before the Archangel Gabriel came down with some golden plates. His wife said, hey, where are the golden plates? Like, fuck you, bitch. I'm not telling you where the golden plates are. It's my testament, my revelation. Ho. But you know how it is. I talked to them about Tinder. If they have a Tinder, I don't know why I mentioned that. It was like, what do you guys think? What do you think is worse, when a girl has pictures of groups of friends on her Tinder profile, or when it's just pictures of her dog in different positions? What's more fucked up? And which girl do you think's uglier, by and large, on average? You never get to see the girl with the dog pictures. You're never going to meet her. You're never swiping right there. But like, theoretically, what do you think on average? I'd imagine the girl with the dog is just like, looks like her dog. Like it's like an accurate representation. And I thought about that some more. And one of them laughed, and I'm like, oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. This is my space. I can say that stuff. You guys don't get to have fun. I do. You guys don't, nothing, no sex, no, you guys ride your bicycles. That's your fun. Wear your JCPenney top of the line Premier Edition. I say shit like that. But, he slipped. It's okay. I forgive him. I bless him. But, yeah, I was kind of like, if you're using proxies already, and that's normal and accepted. Oh, these are my friends. Okay, sure, whatever, fine. Why not go further? Use other people, pictures that aren't yours, that you're not even in. Wouldn't that be the ultimate separation of rejection? If you're afraid of being rejected, use other people's pictures of random girls that she's brunette, I'm brunette. That's good enough. But every time I don't get a notification, every night I'm about to fall asleep and I want to check my phone, I don't have to feel rejection because I'm not being rejected. The ugly hoe on those pictures with all her hot friends on right and left side of her are. That picture, that whole setup, that profile's being rejected, not me. I'm good. She might even get like passive aggressive with like the girl, like she's about to fall asleep, she's staring at her phone. It's like, looks at the girl's pictures that she's put on her own profile, like, aw, hey, there's someone for everyone. Hang in there, girl. Have you lost weight? Oh, look at that. You look like you've lost. Good for you. Hey, girl, you do you. I don't know, man. Girls are fucking crazy. Girls are fucking crazy. I had a girl the other day. I didn't mention this to the Mormons. I asked them to leave. I was sick of them pretty soon. It was like a 45-minute conversation, but afterwards I just couldn't finish the podcast. So I just waited till today. But like, I had this girl like try to like give me Molly, like all these things. Like, it was weird. It was a weird setup. It was like we slept together a few times and then we stopped. I didn't want to do it anymore. And so all these strange scenarios, like she's sober, she doesn't drink, and then she's like, hey, do you want some wine? She knows that I drink. Not, I don't, you know me. I don't drink a lot. Like, I don't even drink once a month, but when I do, it's like usually wine or something like that. It's not excessive. It's just like, oh, to enjoy, I don't need it. It's just like, but like, I actually like red wine. There's some sort of like the oneophile in me or something. Is that how you say it? Oneophile? The oneophile in me is just like, oh, this is interesting. I can taste the vanilla and the dark ripe fruits, whatever. I like Zinfandels and Pinot Noirs and things like that. I think the alcohol Merlot overwhelms the fruit. It's a little too much for me, but I digress. I'm sure that's not a general. This might be a generalization that's over the top. I just had so many Merlots that I didn't like earlier on, like 3 or 4 different varietals. From 3 or 4 different, I should say, vineyards. And I was just like, fuck this. I don't like Merlot. Fuck Merlot, as they said in Sideways, where my interest in being a wine snob started. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, she like tried to like drug me with Molly. She started like doing all the, like, I felt like I was like a gateway drug to her, like my dick. Like, I feel like she did it. Like the vegan girl, she took it and took the sacrament into her mouth. And then she's like, I have to have more. So she broke her sobriety. She started doing drugs, all to fuck me. It's like doing heroin to get like some, like my dick. Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to do heroin because if I do it, then maybe I'll get Andrew's dick. Oh shit, I slipped it. I slipped my real name. It's all good. It's all good. BenBen's good. It's been 2 weeks. It's all good. BenBen is my nickname since I was like in high school, because people couldn't pronounce my last name. And so BenBen became my nickname. All my close friends call me BenBen. I'm just chill right now, so I let it slip. Andrew. I look like an Andrew, don't I? Or maybe like a Jonathan? Maybe a Babson? I think I could be a Babson. It's like, oh, like this girl's like, hey, who's that tall drink of water? Like, that's Babson. Babson? What is that? Isn't that like a business school? Yeah, but it's also him. He, capital H.